What do women really want? Is it looks? Is it money? Is it status? Is it just something completely different? Well, here's the thing. You're asking the wrong questions. Instead, we should be asking, how do women weigh these specific traits? And that is what we're here to break down today, based on research, psychology, and real-world experience. As someone who has studied this for years, I can tell you firsthand that the information that you're going to get today is going to change your entire perspective on dating. Men are very single-minded. Everyone's saying on the internet that women are looking for very certain things. The guy has to be rich, he has to be hot, he has to be famous. Like, that's it. Those are the only guys who are able to get women. But they're failing to see the nuances. The truth is, it is way more complicated than that. It is not binary, where the guy just has to be rich, hot, and famous. Otherwise, it's done. First off, it's true. Women do want these qualities. Yes, they do want a rich, hot, and famous guy, just like you want a very beautiful and sweet and loyal, loving woman. Yes, those things are true. The difference is women will weigh these things based on where they're at in their life. So it's not as binary as we think. They're going to take some of these ideas in terms of what they're looking for, but it doesn't mean they always act on them. So if we start to understand this concept, it's going to allow you to have a dating strategy that actually works, instead of most guys who are really doing nothing and kind of giving up because they think it is that binary. And this new dating strategy is going to get you a lot more results. Let's start with a common study that we've all heard, which is that OkCupid found that the 20% of men, the top 20%, are getting 80% of all the matches. Men assume that women are like men, and they are judging how they might be attracted to someone in the same way, which we all know for guys, it's a little bit more physical first. So men think that women are looking for that physical attraction first. And I will agree, on dating apps, that is very true. However, when we're off the dating apps, it's not so much looks first, but it's context first. So again, men are visual first, women are context first. In fact, there's some interesting data that most men haven't heard. It was from the Pew Research Center. They found that 10% of adult relationships are people that have only met on the apps. So although attractive men are getting a lot of dates from online, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're getting relationships from online. Very few of them, in fact, are finding long-term relationships. And this is the same for women. You see, when it comes to context-based, a woman, when she's with you, is observing a lot of different things than your actual looks. She's observing your behavior. Your attractiveness shifts based on the way that you present yourself, not just physically, but your personality, the way that you convey your confidence, the way that other people react to you. Again, we're talking about the context here, where guys, we know that stuff doesn't matter as much. We're very much more visual first. Looks are the pre-screening phase. They help you pass the filter. So yes, you do need to have your grooming intact and your fashion and style intact, of course. But then once we get past that quick pre-screening phase, something else happens. Your attractiveness is constantly being recalculated with a woman based on the way you act, the way that you look at her, the way that you talk to her, the way that you carry yourself. Let's take some extremes for a second. Let's talk about the halo effect. So a confident, high-status man with an average face will be rated higher than a timid, shy, awkward guy with a very chiseled jaw and very good-looking face. So women don't judge your looks in isolation. They're taking in a lot of other factors, mixing them together, and then giving them an idea if they are actually attracted to you. And looks are really the least important trait when it comes to a woman looking for a solid long-term relationship. Which leads us to the next trait, which is money. A lot of men just assume that women are gold diggers and they're only after a guy's money and what he can provide, but this is just not true. Yes, there are gold diggers out there who pretend to be attracted to a man because they only want his money. That is true, that exists, gold diggers are real, but not all women are gold diggers. In fact, women are turned on just as much by wealth as the trajectory of a man and his ability to provide. In fact, a study from Western Sydney University found that women prioritize a man's capacity to earn over his current wealth. That's why a guy who's actively building and working on something and who's ambitious is more attractive than some random trust fund kid. Now, that trust fund kid will be attractive to those gold diggers we were talking about. Money is a proxy for survival skills. Women are not just looking for a guy who's sitting on a wad of cash, because that doesn't necessarily say that he's able to earn and provide. But the ambition, the hard work, and the effort, that says he really can. A broke man with a vision is inherently more attractive than a rich guy who just has no drive whatsoever. Again, you have to understand that women crave a man who is going somewhere. So I will tell you, no, you cannot just turn on some magic switch and be some broke guy on his couch. That obviously doesn't work. You have to be working on yourself, working on something so that you are showing the woman that you are ambitious, that you want more out of life. Women are very attracted to this. Money just isn't about materialism, but it provides a signal into your competence, into your intelligence, into your ability to navigate the world. But how do money and looks measure up to status? Well, this is where things change a little bit, but I have good news for you. Let's dive into this. Status is the strongest attraction amplifier. You know, someone who is very famous and maybe not that good looking, or even sitting on a pile of wealth, but he is famous, he can get a lot of women. That is for sure. We call this social proof, and social proof is big. Women are wired to look at how others perceive you before they make a judgment call on who you are and how much they like you. This is also why women love leaders. Leadership status signals dominance, capability, confidence, real qualities that make a man look and feel like a protector and a provider. If people respect you, admire you, and seek your presence, women will naturally find you more desirable, even if you're not rich and you're not handsome. So we've covered looks and money and status, but now the question is how do women weigh all of these? For short-term attraction, looks carry the most weight, and then social status is second. You see, a good-looking guy will get more attention at first, but once she finds out that he's high status, things start to shift. For long-term relationships, financial stability is huge, and social status becomes more important. Women aren't just thinking about attraction anymore. They want security and they want a lifestyle. A man's looks cannot give a woman any of these things. So if you have looks, but no money and no real status, you'll get attention for the short term, but it's not going to get you a long-term relationship. Which means you can sleep and have fun with a bunch of women, but that's as far as it's going to go. If you have money with no looks or no status, then it will get you a long-term relationship, but you'll never actually know if that woman is with you because of your money or because she actually likes you. If you have status, but no money and no looks, then you're actually better off in the long term. You're more well off than any of these other situations. But you need to signal your status in a few different ways because a woman's not going to know unless you are displaying this. Attraction isn't about being born with the perfect face. It's not about making $1 million, while those things, of course, do help. It's about building yourself into the man that women respect, admire, and desire. Think of yourself like a character in a video game, right? You don't start all maxed out. You need to build up to this. You need to work on yourself. You grind, you level up, and you unlock new abilities over time. You don't need to be a male model, but you can fix your style. You can go to the gym. You can work on your posture. You can work on the way that you communicate to women. Presentation alone starts a signal that you have some higher status than most guys. You don't need to be rich, but you do need to be on some sort of plan, some mission, have some ambition in your life, which these days it's harder to come by because we are just sedated by the internet and by social media and by porn. It's terrible. So we need to get rid of all the distractions and focus on building you. You don't need to be famous, but you should command respect in your social circle and the people that are around you. Build influence in your domain and lead with confidence and charisma. The way that people react to you shapes how women see you. Here's some other cheat codes, and all these feed into each other. 1. When you get in shape, people respect you and your status rises. When you build wealth, your confidence increases and you just naturally become more attractive. When you gain status, you gain more opportunities, which leads to more money, to better connections, to a better lifestyle. Every man starts somewhere. What's important is every day you're actively working on leveling up and being a better person, 1% every day. Because the man who works on all three, he doesn't have to chase women anymore. Women start to notice him.